I think right here today, considering all of the social media, all of the outlets for attention, Caitlin Clark by far today is the most sought after popular star.
LPGA just did everything. They did it all correct in literally one day.
You might think you know the Caitlin Clark story, the record-breaking shots, the sold-out arenas, the fierce rivalries that define her career, but the single most calculated and devastating move she ever made to silence her critics and leave her rivals utterly speechless didn't happen on the basketball court. It happened in a place no one saw coming, with a weapon no one even knew she possessed.
Golf media is pumped about Caitlin Clark, as they should be. So many more new fans are going to be tuning in to golf who never would have otherwise.
That weapon was a golf club. When Caitlin Clark stepped onto the pristine fairways of the John Deere Classic Pro-Am, the sports world was collectively confused. This was supposed to be a fun, casual celebrity appearance, a brief distraction before her real job began. But the crowds that swarmed the course told a different story. They were bigger, louder, and more electric than for many of the seasoned professionals competing. They weren't there to see a gimmick. They were there to witness a phenomenon unfold.
I'm sure she's going to get quite a few
lessons
from Nelly. Maybe, fine-tune that part of it. But,
I like that
I mean, you're an athlete. You're used to crowds, and I'm sure you play better under pressure.
Any lingering thought that this was just a simple publicity stunt was obliterated with her very first swing. Paired with PGA Tour veteran Zach Johnson, a former Masters champion, Clark unleashed a thunderous laser-straight drive down the fairway that sent a palpable shockwave through the gallery. This wasn't the clumsy, awkward swing of a basketball player trying a new hobby for laughs. This was the confident, fluid, and powerful motion of a natural-born athlete, and it served as a precise statement that she wasn't just there to participate, she was there to dominate.
So there comes the female GOAT, and these women are going from having 3,000 people in their arenas to 20,000.
But the moment that truly broke the internet, the shot that would be replayed millions of times, was yet to come. On one hole, faced with a seemingly impossible 50-foot putt for an eagle, Clark lined it up with the same cold, calculating focus she gives a game-winning free throw in a championship game. The crowd held its breath as the ball rolled and rolled, and then, as if guided by an unseen force, dropped directly into the cup. The explosion of cheers was deafening. It was a shot most pro golfers dream of making once in a season, and a rookie from the WNBA had just sunk it effortlessly, almost casually. This wasn't luck. It was a clear and undeniable warning.
I was trying to think of who else maybe could play today, especially in women's sports, that would create this kind of attention. Current player. And, I mean, the true buzz that Caitlin Clark has shown across the entire sports world in such a short period of time.
The whispers quickly spread among the professionals on the course, turning from curiosity to outright disbelief. They weren't just impressed, they were baffled. They spoke in hushed, reverent tones about her raw power, her impossibly smooth swing, and her ice-cold composure under the intense gaze of thousands of fans and rolling cameras. These were seasoned veterans, men and women who had dedicated their entire lives to mastering this torturous sport, and they simply couldn't comprehend how someone could just pick up a club and look so polished, so perfect, so practiced.
Ripping it down the middle. Showing some deft wedge game as well. I'm not buying her comment yesterday that the only thing she wanted.
Publicly, Clark was the picture of humility, laughing it off, and claiming she was just there to have fun and that the only thing she wanted to accomplish was to enjoy the day. But those who have followed her career know better. Behind that disarming smile was the same killer instinct that has defined her on the court. Her claims of being nervous felt less like genuine fear and more like a calculated strategy to lower expectations right before shattering them into a million pieces. She brought the same fierce determination that made her a basketball icon, and the results were nothing short of spectacular.
To go. And the last thing I'll ask is, there are a lot of fans here for 7 a.m. Pro-Am. What were the nerves like hitting your opening tee shot here compared to what you normally do on the basketball court?
I don't get nervous for basketball, but I got a little nervous for this because I don't want to hit anybody, but honestly, I'm just trying to have fun.
But this performance didn't come from nowhere. While it appeared to the world that she just casually showed up and dominated, that narrative ignores the core of who Caitlin Clark is. This was not a fluke. This was the result of a ferocious work ethic that operates in the shadows. Hours of unseen practice, painstaking attention to detail, and an unwavering will to succeed all combined to create a debut that felt nothing short of historic. Her innate agility blended flawlessly with an extraordinary ability to read the course and make shots with perfect accuracy, leaving both spectators and pundits in complete awe.
First of all, we're thankful that she's here. Kind of the one on, when you talk about women's sports, she's kind of, other than Nelly, it's been Caitlin.
Almost instantly, as videos of her performance hit the web, social media went into a complete and utter meltdown. Clips of her perfect drives and, of course, the unbelievable eagle putt went viral, racking up tens of millions of views in mere hours. The hashtag #GateElanClarkGolf was trending worldwide above major news events. Suddenly, people who had never watched a minute of golf in their lives were glued to their screens, sharing, commenting, and debating. In a single afternoon, Clark had made golf a must-see event, and in doing so, sent a quiet but terrifying message to her rivals.
Caitlin Clark has been the best thing, the most dominant thing. Remember, there's been good players come out of college, but nobody really cared. We'd seen it. Nobody really cared.
This one afternoon of golf fundamentally shifted the entire conversation around her legacy. The debate was no longer just about whether she was the greatest college basketball player of all time or the future of the WNBA. Suddenly, her name was being seriously mentioned alongside multi-sport legends like Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders, athletes whose physical gifts transcended the boundaries of a single game. Commentators were asking a new, much bigger question. Is Caitlin Clark one of the greatest pure athletes of her entire generation? She was redefining what it means to be a GOAT.
But I know that you work really hard in the offseason. You said yesterday you're always trying to get better. What's the thing that you're working on this offseason?
I think, honestly, besides the actual basketball skill part of it, I think getting stronger, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm in the weight room a lot, just building that strength. Obviously, it was hard going right from the college season to the professional season. We'd spend a lot of time in the weight room, so.
This performance echoed a ghost from sports history, the Michael Jordan effect. When Jordan left basketball at his peak to play baseball, it wasn't just a career change, it was a declaration of his almost mythical athletic prowess. It proved he was on a different plane than his rivals. Clark's stay on the golf course did the same thing. It was a power move that elevated her from a basketball star to a cultural icon, demonstrating a level of talent and charisma that felt limitless, just as Jordan's did decades before.
What Caitlin Clark does is kind of simple, really. She shows up at games, she signs autographs, she talks to little girls wearing jerseys, she smiles to the crowd, and then here's the most important thing. She competes like a maniac. I mean, like a maniac.
This was a direct and brutal refutation of the skeptics who had tried to put her in a box. Many critics and even some fans had argued that her aggressive, high-octane basketball mentality was too chaotic for a game of calm precision like golf. They believed her relentless energy and rapid-fire decision-making would be a weakness, not a strength. But with each controlled, powerful, and elegant swing, she systematically dismantled that entire narrative, proving her athleticism wasn't limited by style or sport. It was universal.
She was at some Pro-Am tournament, and she's got a gallery full of people around her, and she shanks one. She hits a low dart right in the crowd, and then the scary thing is she re-tees.
Yeah.
She takes a ball and goes right back to the tee, and you can see the gallery like, oh my God, she's going again to start to...
While Clark was conquering a new world, her rivals were left looking on, trapped in the same old narrative. This golf exhibition was a strategic masterstroke, an indirect but absolutely devastating blow. It showcased a level of global appeal and athletic versatility that her on-court competitors simply could not match. It was a silent checkmate. She was playing a grand, multi-dimensional game of chess while they were still stuck playing checkers on a single board.
It's going to be huge. That's why they expanded the coverage around it. And that's why you see, some of the talking heads in the golf space getting really excited because they know what's about to come down this week once Caitlin Clark tees off.
This move was a form of psychological warfare, and it was brutally effective. It planted a seed of doubt in the minds of her competitors. How do you compete with someone who doesn't seem to have any limit? While rivals like Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson focused on physical battles and media sound bites, Clark operated on another level. She wasn't just trying to beat them in a game, she was establishing an aura of complete and utter invincibility.
She would not have joined the WNBA. These numbers would not be the way that they are with or without her, right? So it's not about Caitlin Clark not being in the finals or being in the finals. It's the fact that Caitlin Clark is in the league that is allowing other teams to still have these pretty decent ratings in the finals.
This created an absolute nightmare scenario for Angel Reese. Reese had meticulously built her entire brand around being the on-court foil to Clark, the gritty, unapologetic antagonist in their highly publicized basketball rivalry. But while Reese was busy with trash talk and on-court antics, Clark was transcending the sport entirely. Her spectacular golf performance made Reese's rivalry feel one-dimensional and small, proving that while Reese was focused on winning a battle, Clark was busy conquering an empire.
Caitlin Clark does maybe better than anybody in sports right now and makes it about others, makes it about team. Think about it. When's the last time you didn't see Caitlin Clark talking about a teammate? When's the last time you saw Caitlin Clark talking about herself or any of the accomplishments that she has had? Let me give you the answer to that. Never! Never! You never hear that. Now, that's why their team has gotten good. She could have been an egomaniac. Everybody in the league knows that she is.
It also brutally exacerbated the growing problem for veterans like A'ja Wilson. Wilson and other established stars had subtly voiced frustration over the massive media attention Clark received, arguing that their own championship-level accomplishments were being unfairly overlooked. But Clark's viral golf performance only widened that gap exponentially. She was now a mainstream cultural figure, drawing in fans from entirely different demographics, and making the complaints from league veterans sound less like a call for respect and more like the grievances of being left behind.
Clark is becoming the best player, not because she's white, because she's that good. She's having Larry Bird impact. She's been the driving force of the hottest team in the entire league, despite her record turnovers. Why? Because she's that good. She's legit good. She's colorblind good. She's guilt-free good. She's apolitically good.
The media latched onto this narrative, casting Clark as the transcendent hero and her rivals as the bitter villains. Every highlight of Clark's golf swing was contrasted with clips of hard fouls against her on the basketball court. She was portrayed as the graceful, multi-talented Rudigy, while her rivals were increasingly painted as one-dimensional antagonists trying to tear her down. This framing wasn't just about sports, it was a cultural phenomenon that cemented their roles in the public's imagination. Ultimately, this was a brilliant and ruthless branding move. By excelling at golf, Clark tapped into a completely new and powerful audience, an older, more affluent demographic that the WNBA and its other stars have historically struggled to attract. She demonstrated an appeal that went far beyond basketball fans, making herself exponentially more valuable to sponsors and cementing her status as a commercial powerhouse, unlike anything women's sports has ever seen. Her success on the golf course sent powerful ripples back through the entire WNBA. The Caitlin Clark effect was already driving record-breaking ticket sales and viewership, but her newfound fame as a multi-sport threat put even more pressure on the league and its players. Every hard foul, every critical comment directed at her was now viewed through a much larger lens, with millions of new fans watching and judging, ready to defend their new hero. This was more than just a game. It was Caitlin Clark writing a new blueprint for what a female superstar can be. She shattered the unwritten rule that athletes, especially women, should stay in their lane and quietly master one craft. She proved that greatness isn't confined to a single arena, that boundaries are only there to be crossed, and that true icons create their own rules. The ripple effect of that one day on the golf course will be felt for years. Clark raised the bar for what is possible, not just for herself, but for all female athletes. She demonstrated a new path to superstardom, one built on versatility, cross-platform appeal, and the courage to step into unfamiliar territory and excel. Her performance became a new benchmark for branding, marketability, and breaking through the glass ceilings of the sports world. And so, her legendary performance left the entire sports world with a chilling, unspoken thought that surely keeps her competitors up at night. If Caitlin Clark can show up and casually dominate a professional sport she doesn't even play, what else is she capable of? What comes next for her rivals? The question is no longer how to stop her on the basketball court. The real question is whether there's any limit to her power at all.